What is going on, everybody? Marvel DC fan back with another ranked video, and we got a very special ranked video because this is something that I thought I would never have to do in the entirety of this YouTube channel. So, you guys may remember back in the day, back when the world was on fire, we had no jobs, we had a lot of free time on our hands, and so we were doing YouTube videos, and I started this ranked playlist. We were going over horror franchises, and for the next few videos, me and a certain special someone were going over certain topics like comedy movies, Family Guy episodes, Christmas movies, favorite bands. It was the whole shebang. And we have that very same guest back here today. So, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Mr. Melodite is back in the house.
Hey there,
Whoop, whoop.
it's
Insert the applause.
it's been a while. It's certainly been a while. Like I was saying before we turned on the recording for this, that I was 22 years old in the last video that we did for this series, and now I'm 26. So we're back in the game, boys.
Just to give the people some context, the last video that you and I did together, us ranking stuff, was episode 5. It was our favorite bands, and that was back January 9th of 2021.
Whoa.
It has been a long time coming.
Yeah,
A
no
very long,
crap.
and I've made so many ranked videos with other people since then, and it's nuts that we're back here today with the OG ranker himself, Mr. Melodite. So
Yeah, I guess so. Hey.
it's crazy. So just to give the people some context as to why we're doing this. So I had got a message from you the other night, and I was telling you, we were talking, and I was talking about a video that was coming out soon, which is probably out now by the time this goes out, which is the Nightmare on Elm Street video. It's all done, and you sent me a message. I think it was the next day, and you were like, "Hey, can we do like a revamp sort of thing on our ranked episodes we did?" Because I had some shitty takes, and I was 20, like it was 22 at the time, and all this other stuff, and I was just like, "Yeah, sure, well, it's fine by me." So, um, now I'm curious for this video exactly what you wanted to go over as far as your opinions changing. Is it all 5 of them? Is it a certain video? Like,
So
what do you think?
I'm thinking that I'm probably gonna leave the Christmas video alone because
Okay.
to be honest with you, like I'm not a big Christmas person to begin with. So my opinions probably haven't changed that much about Christmas movies. Um but obviously like as the years went by, a lot of my opinions have changed on say videos like the Family Guy ranked episode that we did. There's an episode change for sure out of the 3 that I gave that I'm like, "Oh my god, yeah, like I'm changing that." And at the same time, I just also kind of felt that during this period of time, um, I have a like a certain medical condition that sometimes affects just the way that I talk and my brain processes information. So I often felt like listening back to some of these podcasts that I was like, "Oh my lord, like just listen to me ramble on and like not make any sequential sense of anything." And I do remember on episode 5 of our favorite bands that you literally had to cut out, I think, at least 30 minutes because I went on this rant about on how our parents grew up in a different generation or something like that, and how I don't know, I can't remember exactly, but you had to like literally cut out a 30-minute rant that I went on, and we ended up with like only 20 minutes of material.
You know what? It's been so long that I don't even remember editing much of that video to begin with. Like, when I think back to when we started those videos, it was mostly just like, like I said, the world was on fire at that point. Everything was shut down, and we were all kind of, a little scatterbrained because we were inside our houses for so long. So, and I don't even like. I don't even like, I feel like we recorded that video maybe a couple days before it came out, so I f my whole process was just, like, get what we need to. If there's anything that needs to be trimmed, then whatever, and then just put it out for everyone to see, so but,
Yeah.
why don't we do the honors of getting into the topics themselves? So what do you wanna start with? What's the
Uh,
one thing you wanna start out with?
you know what? Honestly, I really would like to start off with Family Guy because
Okay.
for a lot of people that don't know, me and Xavier have known each other for well over 10 years, and I remember,
Almost 20 years now. It's
holy
getting there,
it's getting there, yeah.
and probably over 15 now, but yeah,
At
we've known each
least.
other for a very long time.
Because I met Xavier, or sorry, excuse me, I met Marvel, when you were what, 13, 14?
I feel like it was younger than that, but maybe
Probably.
like
Oh, yeah, you know what? No, class, right? Yeah. So, yeah, you would have been about 12.
11, 12. Yeah, probably around then.
Yeah, jeez, man. But anyway, as we got into junior high, Family Guy became like a really big vocal point of our friendship. Like we would like spend like literally hours quoting Family Guy episodes and um just reminiscing and like some of the Family Guy episodes that were on TV that night, and like we would go, "Oh
Oh,
my god, like did you see that episode?" And like,
yeah,
"Oh my god, did you catch the joke?"
literally day and night. It was, some random episode, whether it was a rerun or a new episode would come on, and the next day we'd be like, "Hey, did you see that thing last night? Is it all it's a funny joke, funny ha, whatever?" And yeah, and it's still a focal point of our friendship for
Oh
years on
yeah.
end. So
Well,
I
when I
still
was
love I still love retro Family Guy. I don't really care about newer Family Guy. I've said that before on a few occasions, but you know, um, yeah, honestly, I don't even remember what I put as my favorite episode. It's been so goddamn long.
It's you know what? And that's what I kinda wanted to do is I wanted to see, like, what would be our favorite episodes now because, it's been almost 4 years since we did these videos, and so, like I said, out of the 3 choices that I gave in the last video, only one of them has really changed. Like, the first 2 are still my favorite episodes and are still up there as, my favorites for sure.
I'm skimming through the video right now just to remember. And we talked about Road to the Multiverse. I think the next one is P-Tarded.
Yeah.
Uh, PTV, I think, was the one after that.
Yeah.
And we talked about, I think one of them was a Family Guy Star Wars special. This one, the image is just Blue Harvest. I don't know if it was just that one, but and then there was the Stewie Griffin story and Road to Rhode Island. So, um, why don't you start off with what your changed opinions would be? Like, what do you want to clarify, and what do you want to go forward with now?
So, I guess we can go with the same concept that we had the last time where we gave our 3 favorite episodes, and I'll start off with my new favorite,
Hmm.
um, probably, season 15, episode 14, the dating game. There's kind of 2 stories going on in this episode, but I wanna focus on Quagmire a little bit. So this episode really focuses in on Quagmire because he finds Tinder and finds out that a dating app is much more easy than what he was doing of like going to bars and stuff like that and
Yeah,
being rejected. When he finds out that there's an app, he can just as easily go find other insanely horny people that are on his same wavelength. And this is probably another one of those episodes where Seth MacFarlane's musical genius like really kind of came to light, especially with like a lot of the musical scores that he does throughout like the whole Family Guy franchise.
yeah,
Um, in this episode, they do a song about Tinder, and I think it's probably one of the best songs that he does outside of um, a couple other like notable songs, like the Bag of Weed song.
Yes.
Oh
Yes.
my god. I'm just thinking of it now, like, now that I thought of it, and I'm like, "That's such a good song," and it was such a, um it was so creative, but so catchy. Um, but anyways, so yeah, like, this is probably one of my new favorites. An honorable mention for sure that was up there was when, Brian gets married to a chick that has cancer, and she ends up
Yeah.
surviving and blows up to, like, more like, to this really morbidly obese size,
That's
and
right, yeah.
it's basically on how just, like, on how miserable Brian is, and that's probably, like, my honorable mention, but, um, so my 2 others that haven't really changed, PTV and, P-Tarded. Um, very old original OG Family Guy. Um, I so PTV was, season 4, episode 14. So PTV was basically, an episode where there was, like, a small kind of slip up because, like, someone showed their genitals, I think is what caused this, but anyways, the
Yeah.
FCC comes into Quahog and was like, "Okay, well, now we have to control TV," and then eventually they start controlling, like, things outside of TV. So what Peter does to kind of fight back to the FCC is he creates his own TV channel, and it's like full of like some insanely lewd and obscene things. Um, one of my favorite parts of that episode is when Quagmire is given his own like TV show, and I forget what he names it, but I think it was called like something like the Q Hour or something like
The
that,
Q, yeah.
and it's basically like what you think Quagmire would do if he had a TV show, and he absolutely just lives up to his reputation. Um, and then
Uh,
to go off to my last episode, Pete Hearted, same season, season 4, episode 6. Um, basically, Pete Hearted is an episode where, um, now this is where like some of the best bits that I still quote with Marvel like all the time. Um so Pete Hearted is it starts off with them playing a game of trivia, and they switch out Peter's edition for a kid's version.
That's right, yeah.
And so anyway, because Peter has the easier version of trivia, Trivial Pursuit, I should probably just give out the full name. Um he ends up winning. Um and he thinks like he's this like glorified genius. So for like the next few days, like he was just boasting on how like smart he was, even going to as far as like watching like a CNN show, and they go, "I think it's shallow and pedantic."
Yeah.
Hmm, indeed, shallow and pedantic.
Shallow and
Peter,
pedantic.
Peter, how do you like your eggs? Hmm, I think they're shallow and pedantic. But
Ugh.
so anyways, Brian then challenges him and goes, "Well, hey, listen, if you think you're such a intelligent, smart beat pants, then go and take this exam. If you pass the exam, you will basically get paid to do whatever the hell you want for the rest of your life." And well, Peter being Peter absolutely bombs this exam, even going as far as labeling him as mentally challenged. Um, I'm not going to really say the word because I don't agree using it, and I used it in the original video.
Let's just say petarded for now.
Yeah,
Or
people,
yeah, this episode title.
people. So he's labeled petarded, and again, like this is where just so like some of the best bits in in the show like really shined, and like this is just like I said, original OG Family Guy, where
I think,
everything
yeah, this
just
was
seemed
I think, yeah, this was still when Seth was still in the writing room. Like, this was
yeah.
before he left, and this he was just cranking out joke after joke after and it's real like, it's smart. It really is smart.
Well, yeah, and, like, nobody really just seems safe. Like, no matter what minority group you were from, no matter, like, what social group you're from, like, you were getting roasted.
Yeah.
And, like, they done some amazing episodes on, like, social outcasts and, like, different types of minority groups, and, oh my god, like, it just makes you think of that episode where Chris starts vaping.
Yeah.
So, but anyways, those are my 3 episodes. Um, but how about you, my good sir, if you can,
Oh my god. Just to tell the audience, I haven't had any prep time, so I I haven't ever had a minute to think about this, but I think um one of them, I'm just gonna go in non-specific order, but I think one of them would probably it would still be Road to Rhode Island,
Yeah.
probably still the best Brian Stewie episode. Another one would be when Peter joins the New England Patriots, I think, the football team.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
And the last one, oh my god, I have my set of DVDs over there, and I'm trying to think of a good one. Um, oh god, there's so many to choose from.
I know, I know.
I would say an underrated one was when Peter tells the story of how Quahog was founded, how like founded in Rhode Island, and Stewie's the king of England or something, uh, and then at the very end they have the music battle between the two of them, and Peter just goes into a full like Revenge of the Nerds recreation.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think that was season 8, but I might be wrong. Yeah, I would say that's a pretty underrated one.
So, Road to Rhode Island, that was, like, the first episode where you kinda got a musical score from Seth MacFarlane, didn't we?
It was definitely one of them. I would say maybe the first full blown musical number,
Mhm.
but I might be wrong because I feel like there were episodes before that that might have like had bits of that. Like the Wish Upon a Jew episode
Oh my god.
had a musical number. I don't know if that predates Road to Red Island though, but
I
um,
guess we could also say, like, the first Brian and Stewie musical score,
yeah,
because
that was
I
yeah. Well, that was funny because that was the first episode where they actually really interacted as characters and they really got to know each other, and that kind of built on the back of them turning into one of the closest duos in adult animation history, I guess. But
yeah, yeah. That's crazy to think about, to be honest with you, like, because Family Guy started in '99,
99,
and
yeah.
that was literally a year after I was born. So I'm almost as old as the show, or I'm older than the show actually. And that's a crazy thing to think about.
Also, I would say as an honorable mention, the pilot is another one that I really enjoy. The very first episode.
Yes. I okay, this is the episode that me and Marvel can probably go back and forth with quotes. It is just so good. Like,
Whoa, is that the blood of Christ? Yes. Man, you must have been drinking 24 hours a day, huh?
hey man, your clock won't flush. Who wants to drink the beer?
Right
Hi
here.
man. What do you
And you
win?
win. All right, what do I win? Another beer. My God.
I'm gonna go for the high score. Oh, you can't do that. Claude has the high
Yeah,
score.
Jerry has the high score. Hey, man, your clock won't flush.
You folks want some pancakes? See, that's the worst thing we have is Aunt Jemima's witnesses. Yeah.
Have you ever seen the the original pilot that Seth hand drawn, like he animated by himself?
No, but you mentioned it offhandedly one time.
It is trippy to see because it's obviously it's not there's no budget to it, but it's got all the same beats that the pilot we eventually got had, so it's insane. But I'll have to send it to you sometime. But
Absolutely, yeah, definitely. I definitely want to see that.
all right. So what's another topic that we discussed in our videos? What's another one that you want to kind of get into?
Well, since we're in the same topic of comedy, we could head on into comedy movies.
Okay.
This should be relatively easy for the two of us because we both enjoy a good comedy. And there's even one movie in specific that both me and you share an absolute just love for.
Just appreciation for you.
Yeah. So I don't remember what my three were, but that's okay. Like, I'm probably gonna end up like naming one of them anyway.
I'm
Um,
skimming through right now, and the ones that we talked about were A Million Ways to Die in the West,
oh my God, yeah.
Step Brothers,
Yeah.
Benchwarmers, Ted, Paul, and Ace Ventura.
Ace Ventura. Oh yeah, that's a good one. I've actually never finished that. I've always started it, would get like maybe 40 minutes into the movie, and then just it yeah, like I
Oh
would
my god,
just
you're missing out, man. It's a great movie.
no, I know, and I've seen bits and pieces, of course, all over the internet and on YouTube and stuff like that. So it's but at the same time, I've never seen the finishing of the film, unfortunately.
And then I won't. Next time I'm over at your place, we'll watch it, and we'll watch it all the way through. Because I don't want to give away what happens at the end, but it's pretty. It's pretty insane for a '90s comedy. So
I do remember a lot of that movie being very um Jim Carrey-ish,
yeah,
I guess I'll say it.
yeah, and that was like right at the start of his career, like big high budget Hollywood career. Like he had done stuff before that. He did stand up, and he did. I think it was In Living Color was a TV show that he was on, but this was like 1990 1992, 1993. So this was like he was putting out banger after banger after banger. He did Dumb and Dumber, he did Ace Ventura, The Mask, and like he just ballooned from there. So
Yeah, no, he's a literal Canadian icon. Like he like yeah. Yeah, he's amazing. Okay, so to hop in, so my top 3 movies, so I'm gonna start off with I'm gonna go from 3 to 1. Um Starting off with like the one that I don't watch too often to the one that I could watch at any moment of time.
okay.
Um so I'm gonna start off with Grown Ups. Um, Grown Ups has quickly become one of my most favorite Adam Sandler movies. But not only that, like, you know, you have Kevin James, David Spade, Rob Schneider, Chris Rock. Um, so that movie, I really have a big appreciation for it because there's like a big um focus on nostalgia. And I'm a big believer in nostalgia as well. So like I think this movie just resonates with me quite a bit. Because I'm also starting to get to that age finally where like I'm starting to meet kids who have never heard the idea of what a VCR is or a VHS is. And it's like, dude, like you don't know how good it was to go to a Blockbuster on Friday night
Oh my
and
god.
like get some pizza and like get some Slurpees or something like that and like just have a good night. And so Grown Ups like really kind of resonates with me a little bit. And again, it's a quality funny movie. It's really up there in the realm of comedy movies that have been released in the past like 10, 15 years. Back when we and Marvel were kids, there was a lot of like really amazing comedy movies that were just coming out like a steaming pile of dog doo doo. Like it was but I mean, and I mean a metaphorical good pile of dog doo doo. Like it was, they were just creating bombs like left, right, and center. And so that's going to lead me into my second movie, The Benchwarmers. So that is probably again like another one of my all-time favorites. John Heder, David Spade, Rob Schneider. John Heder, he's best known for Napoleon Dynamite.
Mhm.
I've personally have never seen that movie, but of course I know like most of the famous like quotes and the scenes from the
Yeah.
movie.
Napoleon
My
Dynamite's good. It's to me at least it's worth a watch at some point in your life. So
definitely, I've been meaning to watch it for sure. I guess just I've never thought to get around it. It's not that I guess it's not to say that I'm disinterested in it. I suppose it's,
yeah.
but so anyway, bench warmers. There's a big stand on like bullying in that movie, and like treating people who are different, who like you perceive as weird. Um, Again, like that's another movie that really resonates with me, but at the same time, it's also just full of like slapstick comedy that's just like so like raunchy. It's so funny. Like the one scene I can think of for sure is like that Dominican guy with like a piece of paper that like has a picture of him and it says I am 12. Um, so that movie basically it's a baseball movie. Um, I guess I never really explained what Grown Ups was either, but I mean, Grown Ups is like pretty explanatory. It's basically just like a group of friends like getting back together and like going out for a camping excursion, and then a bunch of like crap starts happening. That's funny. Anyway, back to Benchwarmers. It's a dodgeball movie, and it's also kind of like an anti-bullying movie too, a little bit. But it doesn't really heavily focus on like being necessarily anti-bullying. It's just more or less a concept of like just because you perceive something weird doesn't necessarily mean it's inherently weird.
Mhm.
And I really kind of like on how they also started using like some of the kids who were bullied as pawns for a lot of the jokes, and I love that. And I think like Howie, the one of the characters' brothers, David Spade's brother,
Right.
is afraid of the sun. And I remember as a kid like pissing my pants laughing at on how afraid of the sun he was. I can't remember the name of that actor, but he's had a pretty illustrious comedy career after that movie. Because I know he's in Reno 911. Um, he did Haunted House with Marlon Wayans.
Mhm.
But anyways, so moving on to my first like my most favorite comedy movie that has probably ever graced the land of Hollywood. And this is probably going to be on Marvel's list too. Step Brothers. Um, you're not a doctor. You're a big fat curly headed fuck.
If the
That
people watching this could have an idea of how our messages go, but like our text messages, it's probably 98% just Step Brothers quotes. Like it's pretty
yeah.
damn it's pretty like it's pretty much there. The entire movie script is just in our DMs and you know.
Did, did you just fart?
I don't know.
I can
I could taste it
I can taste it.
on my tongue. Okay, now the tuxes are really fucked up.
Yeah. That movie is so awesome. So basically it's these two divorced parents that bring their sons together and try to mingle as a or merge together as a family. And at first they don't see eye to eye, but then a bunch of like things happen in their lives, and they just end up like just going through this whole raunchy trip of like they create a really realistic relationship of like what it would actually be like between two siblings, but nonetheless two brothers.
Mhm,
And oh my god, like I think that movie really resonates with everyone because everyone has lived that childhood of like harassing and terrorizing your siblings. So, but yeah, no, like me and Marvel, I've seen that movie quite a few times. Um and we talk about it probably very concerningly a lot.
Whenever we have a conversation, it's bound to come up at some point or another, even if we're talking about something completely unrelated. Like it's no matter what, if we say even a word that makes us think of that movie, we're probably gonna say a quote just outright.
Yeah. So that is that in that movie specifically, that's Will Ferrell and John C. Riley. And then also like we quoted a little bit for a bit from the movie that had Seth Rogen in it.
Yeah.
And that was a pretty memorable moment in that movie was the scene with Seth Rogen. But yeah, how about on to you, my good sir?
Okay. So I think mine were. I'm trying to remember. I'm skimming through this thing. I think mine were. Step Brothers was definitely on the list. Um, and I would still say it's probably on that list. And I think the other two, or some of the others I had were. Oh, Paul was one of them, and there was and Ted. Ted was on one of our lists. I forget. So
Yeah.
Step Brothers is definitely on the list for sure.
Yep.
Second would probably be uh, I would swap Ted out for Billy Madison.
Okay. Okay.
I love Billy Madison. I just rewatched it not too long ago, and it has some of my favorite quotes ever in cinema. I, I just um, when there's a scene where they're like the teacher, he's in a kindergarten class. This guy's like, it's Adam Sandler. He's going back to school and whatever, and he's going through every grade, and he's in kindergarten, and he's listening to this teacher read a book about some dog who gets lost, and he goes on this tirade. It's like, why didn't the kid do more? If your dog is missing, you don't just look for an hour and call it quits. You get your ass out there and you find that fucking dog. He's going nuts. And this teacher just looking at him like, it's like this. I know he's like, he's definitely challenged. He's probably not all there though. But so that movie's great. Another one I would swap would probably be I think Ted was on my list, but I'm gonna swap that out for Kindergarten Cop with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh,
Have you ever seen it?
yeah.
Yeah,
Bits and pieces, but yeah.
it's a great movie. It's probably one of my favorite Arnold movies. Probably his best comedic role, I would say.
Okay.
And that's just another movie that is filled with some great moments, not just from Arnold himself, but like the whole kids and stuff. Boys have a penis, girls have a vagina. Thanks for the note. Just great stuff. And honorable, if we had to have an honorable mention, I would say maybe Grown Ups would be on that list too. I really do like Grown Ups.
Mhm.
It's not one of my favorites, but it's definitely an uh, underrated movie for me. It's one that I
Um,
go back to like every so often.
so an honorable mention for me would have to be probably I need to see this movie again and I've been meaning to watch it, but 21 Jump Street.
Yeah.
That'd be an honorable mention. Channing Tatum and Jonah Hill and Ice Cube.
Everybody comfortable? Get your motherfucking ass up when I'm talking.
um Not so Slim Shady. But yeah, that movie is great. Okay, so so
All right.
I want the horror franchises to be last because like that horror movies to me in Marvel are like coffee with cream. It's literally that sounded really sus when I the way that I just said that. It's creamy. Yeah, so it's no, horror movies to be for me and Marvel literally besides like for Marvel, but besides like comic books and video games, it horror is probably like is it safe to say that like that is your other area of expertise, I
I,
guess?
I'm very fond of horror, and I think the people of this YouTube channel now know that because I've done how many videos on Friday the 13th, and probably
Yeah.
even more videos in the future on stuff like, you know, Halloween is another one I want to get to, and Texas Chainsaw Massacre I think would be fun to talk about at some point. So
I yeah, definitely. And I've played both Friday the 13th and Texas Chainsaw, and they're both I like Texas Chainsaw a bit better. I found the mechanics to be a little easier to manage than
yeah.
Friday the 13th. But
I haven't
anyways,
I haven't tried. I have a copy of Texas Chainsaw. I haven't tried it yet, but maybe at some point when a Halloween game comes out, you and I can cover it. I already know a couple videos that we can do. Family Guy is one of them. The Family Guy video game is one of them. So
oh yeah, the what's the multiverses one?
there's
I think I
there's that one, and then there was a PS2 one also that
oh
I think came out in 2006, something like that. But anyway, we're getting
wow.
off topic. All right, so
Yes.
you want to save
So
horror for last. So what do you
yes,
want to
so
talk about
let's
next?
so like I said, we're leaving Christmas out of this video completely just because um there's really not a lot of choices again for Christmas movies anyway. Um and I haven't really seen many movies that I'm like, "Oh my god, yeah, like I would watch this again." So we're just going to do favorite bands. Cuz that has
Okay.
definitely changed for me in the past few years. Um so um like I said, I'm going to go from 3 to 1, like something that I listen to every day to something that I listen to once every like few weeks type deal.
Okay.
So, number 3 on my list, Billy Talent.
Yeah.
Um, Me and Marvel, I took Marvel to go see Billy Talent live a few years ago. What
That's
did you think of them?
that was really good. That was a really good concert. We should make at some point. We should do a story time video on that concert because I definitely would want to talk about that for a
Yeah,
video. That would be a lot
yeah,
of fun.
yeah. It was a fun experience, and but so Billy Talent, I've been listening to Billy Talent long before I met Marvel. I've been listening to Billy Talent since I was about 10 or 11 years old. So little backstory on Melodite. So I lived in a group home for a little bit for about 3 years. And in this group home, there were a lot of adult youth workers. Um, and one of them really got me into like early 2000s punk rock and hard rock. So I listened to a lot of like 3 Days Grace, Green Day, Linkin Park. She exposed me to a lot of that stuff.
Right.
So, anyways, once a week on Wednesdays, we would go to the public library. And at the time at the public libraries, you'd use your library card on a computer and you would get 1 hour of computer usage to basically do whatever you wanted.
Yeah.
So, of course, having unlimited internet access at the age of 10, when YouTube was just starting to become a big deal, um, I found this band called Billy Talent, and the first track that I ever listened to was Fallen Leaves. And
Mm.
that song fucking rocks. um, it is so catchy. It is such a strong message too. It, the song is about drug users in East Hastings in Vancouver. Um, so a lot of the lyrics talks about and how like basically like a junkie talking like reckoning about how he's gonna take one more hit and he's gonna
Mhm.
swear it's gonna be his last time, and then talks about on how like he never thought that he would be hiding his track marks. So for another little fun fact about Melodite that you guys don't know is I work in healthcare. Track marks refers to when people use heroin and it's the needle pricks in their forearms. So
Right.
that's colloquially track marks.
Mm.
So yeah, anyway, Billy Talent, I've seen him live. I've seen Billy Talent live, oh my god, like one, two, three, 5 times.
A bunch. Yeah.
Too many times.
Too many
Actually,
times.
actually, that's not even true. That there's no such thing as too many times when I see them because they're also one of the very few bands that actually sounds good live. Um, so my second band, now this is a band that they're not necessarily a band, they're more or less of a group. Suicide Boys. Um,
Okay.
been big into them. Um, I guess I should say my favorite song. Back to Billy Talent. My favorite song by Billy Talent is right now Diamond on a Landmine. I'm not going to explain what that song's about. You can go listen to it. I don't really feel like explaining that. And also just for continuity and the length of this video and for the sake of Marvel's editing. So anyways, Suicide Boys.
All right.
They're a rap group from Louisiana. Um, I know some hardcore fan is probably gonna come at me and be like, "No, they're not. They're from like this place down in the United States." So they're American.
Mm,
We get that. We know that. We cope with that. I'm joking, but anyway, Suicide Boys. They're a rap group, and they talk about a lot of. For me, I really like when they rap about like a lot of their mental health stuff. Um,
mhm.
this like the two song titles I'm going to give out are very much an oxymoron. But Kill Yourself Part 3 and Kill Yourself Part 4. Um, those are probably songs that I listen to probably on the daily. Uh, and those songs are just awesome. I honestly really don't know much about the lore behind Suicide Boys other than when they first started, the reason why they're called Suicide Boys is because back when they started, they made a suicide pact that if they weren't like famous or whatever you want to call it, they were gonna kill themselves at the age of by the age of 30 if they weren't
Mhm.
famous.
Right.
So that's why they call themselves Suicide Boys. They are probably one of the best rap groups around. Um, like seriously. And I really like them. Okay, number one, Swedish rock band. I don't know if you've ever heard of them. Ghost.
Ghost. Um,
Ghost.
did we listen to Ghost last time I hung out with you? I feel like you showed me some Ghosts last time.
Yes, because I was kind of remarking on how much some of their songs sounds like Alice Cooper.
Yeah, that's right.
And there were a couple of songs that very much sound like Alice Cooper. And their newest album definitely sounds like a homage to 80s metal. And a lot of
Mhm.
their music is definitely a homage to like 80s metal.
Yeah.
Even doing as much as like doing covers of some 80s metal songs. So like Fear of the Dark by Iron Maiden, Enter Sandman by Metallica. And then they did not Fear of the Dark, they did Phantom of the Opera
Phantom of the
by
Opera.
Iron Maiden. And then they also did I think that's it for covers.
Did they do an
Uh
Alice Cooper cover?
no, but they should. They really should.
Yeah.
I would really like to hear Poison done by them.
Yeah.
I would really like to hear Poison done by them. Um so Ghost, my favorite song by Ghost, would have to be right now Satanized. So basically, oh, excuse me.
Yep.
Ghost, they basically dress up in a bunch of like religious kind of clergy esque like I don't want to say uniforms, but costumes.
Mhm.
And they kind of have this anti religious kind of message to them, but It's not really meant to be taken seriously to my understanding. But I like to take it seriously because a lot of their songs, if you just directly try to interpret it, it definitely sounds very anti-religious and very anti-Catholic.
All
And
right.
I'm here for that. I like being a shit disturber sometimes. And I definitely really, really do appreciate when people are okay with making fun of like very highly hyper religious people. Um, but anyway, like I could eat. I'm stopping that rant before it even starts. So,
Okay.
um, but on to you, my good sir.
Oh my god. So I was thinking back to the original video, and I just remembered this, and this is probably one of the ranked videos I regret the most because you were going in depth on all these bands, you were talking about how much you love them, and I'm just like, yeah, I don't really have any bands, so I'm just going to talk about 80s music in general, and it's just like, oh my god. So I
That's what
was,
started my rant. Okay.
yeah, I don't remember why I didn't come up with a list in the first place. Um,
Pretty sure
but
you said AC/DC at some point.
maybe, but ugh, um, I don't know. Um, but I was while you were chatting, I was thinking of some answers for bands I would pick, and in non-order, one of them would be Daft Punk. Uh, since we recorded that video, I've been on a huge Daft Punk like listen, like all of their albums, even something from like Tron Legacy, which is probably
Oh,
one of my favorite movies ever, mainly
yeah.
because of their soundtrack. Great stuff. I wanna own that vinyl at some point. If I ever start collecting vinyl, that's probably one of the first things I'd buy is that. But, so Daft Punk would be one. I would say Nickelback would probably be one of them, and I know that's to some people, that's a controversial thing. So it's like, "Oh, you don't talk about Nickelback, it's a piece of shit."
Blasphemy.
Starters, Deadpool proved all you wrong, you sons of bitches. And I mean, it's been a band that's been with me since I was literally like 1 years old. Like listening to all their songs over the years. Even some recent stuff I've heard is still I still like it. Third pick though, ooh, that is tough. That is a tough, tough one to pick to nail down. But I would say, hmm, fuck it. Let's just say Guns N' Roses.
Guns N'
Guns N' Roses.
Roses.
Yeah, Guns N'
Okay,
Roses.
so I gave my favorite songs. What are your favorite songs from your three choices?
Daft Punk um probably would be Around the World. It's a song around yeah, no. It's a song that's been ingrained in my head since I was a teenager, and, and every time I hear that beat, I just get a little happy inside and remember that my teen years were kind of good, so in some ways. But, Nickelback, I would say, oh god, let me look up some other tracks. This is how unprepared I am. Like, I got nothing here.
It's all
Uh,
good, man. An honorable mention for me, like as you said, they are a controversial band, especially because we come from the area where Nickelback formed.
mhm,
Um, so a Nickelback song for me is that I would like put as an honorable mention, and this is because of an old friend of mine. Uh, um, his
yeah,
favorite song, and he was a big Nickelback fan, Rockstar.
Rockstar is really good. My
Oh,
favorite Nickelback song would probably be between, it's called "Someday," "Someday, Somehow," and the other one would probably be, it's called, "If Today Was Your Last Day."
oh yeah, yeah, that's a good one.
If Everyone Cared was another one that was on my head too. I guess that'd be 3 really good ones. Guns N' Roses, obviously Sweet Child of Mine. Like, it's such an iconic track, and it's good every time you hear it, so
Yes, sir. I agree. Um,
good shit.
okay. So honorable mention before I leave this topic and on to our final topic, which
Okay.
I'm very excited to talk about.
Mhm.
Um, because there's some massive, well, not, I'm like making it very dramatic. There's some massive changes, yeah. No, sound like a YouTuber that's like one of those like clickbait YouTubers that's like over dramatizing their
Oh,
video.
Jesus. Oh,
At 12
totally.
o'clock midnight on December 21st. Anyway, an honorable mention for me when it comes to bands is probably in the realm of Linkin Park. Um,
Yeah.
Linkin Park, man. R.I.P. Chester Bennington, first of all. Um, one of my most favorite songs by them currently right now is Breaking the Habit.
Breaking the Habit's probably my favorite Linkin Park, my favorite Linkin Park song.
It's so good and it's so catchy and it's such a powerful song too. Of course, Numb is like really right up there too with choices when it comes to Linkin Park. Um, did I did I say my favorite Ghost song?
I think you did, yeah.
Satanized. Yes, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry for the relapse of memory there. But I guess like another really good song by this band would have to be not Ghost, the Jesus Christ, I already forgot what my choice was, man. No, so honestly, like to wrap that up, yeah, like that would be my honorable mention for sure. They have some great music. Um, but but yeah,
Huge part of why we became childhood edgelords to begin with, so
ain't that the truth?
okay, so we have one more
So,
topic because, I was thinking about I know you didn't wanna talk about Christmas, but I was just thinking about it and, like, I don't really have anything that I would change, like, just going through it, but,
okay.
yeah, anyway, so let's talk about horror franchises because honestly, I don't really have I don't really have anything I would change about mine. Because mine were Friday the 13th, uh, Nightmare on Elm Street, and then the Child's Play franchise, and those are still really close to my heart, and I still am really fond of them. So I don't think I really have I don't have much input myself. I would say as an honorable mention, besides those 3, Halloween is definitely up there, and
But
Texas.
which one?
Which Halloween franchise? I would just
Like which Halloween movie? Because there's been like a couple of spin-offs, right?
well, obvious I mean, the original was still the John Carpenter classic is still the best one by far.
Okay. All right. I like
So,
it. I like it.
um, but yeah, but franchises in general, like the whole thing,
Oh,
it's just it doesn't quite crack my top 3 because there's a lot of really bad ones in that series, but
there's definitely some garbage ones in that
yeah,
franchise.
but it's 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 still great. A lot of them are a number of them are still pretty good even today, and even one of them is a sentimented Halloween, like a just holiday classic, I would say. So,
Um, so okay, my top three. Um, so the reason why I'm wanted to bring this topic up specifically is because they're adding a fourth movie, and I never talked about the third movie of this franchise, but
Okay.
the Conjuring. Um,
Conjuring. Okay. Yeah.
so Conjuring ghost movie. Um, this is about a paranormal investigative couple by the name of Ed and Lorraine Warren. Now, during this time period of the movie franchise, they lived on the East Coast of the United States in Connecticut. And so a lot of their cases were based out of like Rhode Island and Connecticut. And then I believe in Pennsylvania is the new movie, Last Rites, Conjuring the
All
Last
right.
Rites. That comes out on September 5th. And I'm very, very excited for that.
Mhm.
Um, so the third movie, The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It. Um, Terrible movie. Just straight up dog shit.
uh,
I thought it was a terrible movie. But I think it's also just because it was a new director too. It wasn't James Wan. And James Wan has mastered horror movies, in my opinion. Um, he really, really has. He's responsible for Saw, Insidious, Conjuring. You know, he's done some amazing, amazing movies. So the reason why I'm choosing The Conjuring is because um years and years ago when the first one came out, I was like watching a bunch of YouTubers and a bunch of my friends. They were saying, "Oh my god, dude, like that is the scariest movie I've ever seen."
mhm.
Well, being an avid horror movie watcher, and I'm sure you relate to this as well, Marvel, when someone says that, I immediately go, "Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay." Like, sure. Okay, fine. And so I didn't take it seriously at first. I never
Mhm.
watched any of the trailers. I just didn't give a shit. I was like, it's a new Hollywood movie that's probably been ran through the mill a bunch of times, and it's probably just a shitty ghost movie.
Probably.
When I watched it for the first time, I didn't sleep that night without any lights on.
Okay.
Um, that movie rattled that was the first movie that I had that actually kind of rattled my cage a little bit for sure. Um, it was really masterfully done. But I also think the big reason why it affected me more than the average person, and this is where I kind of get a little pissy with some horror people, like where they go, "Oh, like that wasn't a scary movie."
Mm,
Well, here's the thing: like when you walk into a mind with the mindset of like being a negative Nancy and having a negative outlook on the movie already, you're kind of predisposing yourself for sometimes a pretty rude awakening.
right.
And that was one of those cases for sure because like I said, I never saw the trailer. So, you know how like a lot of horror movies always kind of ruin the movie in the trailer, right?
Yeah.
Like they give out the biggest scare and crap like that. It really pisses me off. Um So anyway, yeah, Conjuring, like I said, it's about a paranormal investigative couple by the name of Ed and Lorraine Warren, and the past three movies have basically been about like some of their more intense cases. In the first movie, they're in Rhode Island. They're going to um, I can't remember the name of the house, but I'm just gonna call it like people know it as the Conjuring House. Um, you can look up the story on your own. I'm not going to really explain it.
Yeah.
Second movie is in England, and that one is called The Enfield Poltergeist. Um, so the real life case of the Enfield Poltergeist was poltergeist activity. It wasn't about a demon. For the Conjuring cinematic universe, they wrote in Valak the demon into the movie just for the franchise. So there was no demon um in the real case file, I'm pretty sure. I could very well be wrong, but I know for a fact that I can't say I know for a fact. But anyway, I'm very excited for the fourth movie. You know, like they aren't giving out a lot of the big scares, which I'm happy about. Um But at the same time, I don't know who's directing this one, but I do hope when I do look it up, it is James Wan. If it's not, then I'm probably walking into it with some pretty low expectations.
Find out it's
Um,
not him, and then 5 minutes later, when you start the movie, he's just like, "This is bullshit. I'm out."
yeah, I'm out. Yep. Paid $40 for this. I'm walking out. Um, so anyway, on to my second movie, or franchise. You know what? You're right. There's a lot of crap movies in this franchise, but I feel that there's enough that I can say it's one of my favorite franchises because I've seen a bunch of them at this point. Halloween.
Yeah,
Um, so I've only seen the very first Halloween. Uh, I've seen H2O 20 years later. uh Resurrection, where like that game show goes into the Myers house, and that was a terrible
Busta
one.
Rhymes, yeah.
Buster Rhymes, yeah, that was
Yeah.
terrible.
"Trick or treat, motherfucker." Like, yeah, it's bad. It's awful.
um the first two, well, not the first two, Halloween 1 and 2, the Rob Zombie reboots, those are probably some of my most favorite horror movies in the realm of reboots. Those are probably one of the better reboots. um Tyler Mane plays Michael Myers in that one, and I honestly feel he adds like a different level of intensity to the character of Michael Myers, and
He's
I love
definitely
it.
he's definitely the best thing about those movies for sure.
Yeah,
Like, it's just he's a really just intimidating dude, and he really brings that out in his Halloween movies. Even like, especially in the first one, like, it's some really heinous shit that he does, and,
yeah. Um, and that's why I kind of like the Rob Zombie ones, is because how much more gory and intense the movies are. Um, Nick Castle played the original Michael Myers, I
yes,
believe, and then a few years later, they did the three rebooted Halloweens with Jamie Lee Curtis, and then James Jude Courtney playing as Michael Myers. Halloween, Halloween Kills, and Halloween Ends. Halloween Kills was
oh.
fucking terrible. Um, like the beginning of the movie was really like I was actually very excited with how they started the beginning of the movie with like going back to the events of Halloween, but then they fucked it right up with like this monologue they did with the two cops that end up getting killed in the top of the Myers house. Like I just really felt that the monologue really killed that scene, and they could have done much better things with that movie.
Yeah,
Halloween Ends, I do feel they kind of picked up the pieces a little bit. I do feel that um they kind of rectified some of their mistakes from the production of Halloween Kills.
I kinda like Halloween Ends, and I like it more than most people, but,
Yeah.
like, because to me, it's like, because it's taking elements not so much from like, each of the reboot movies takes elements from, like, the 2018 one was the original, the Halloween Kills was probably more influenced by Halloween 2, and then Ends is probably like, it's more of an homage to Halloween 3, which has nothing to do with Michael Myers whatsoever. It's
Yeah,
just its
Season
own
of the
thing, and
Witch.
yeah, yeah, Season of the Witch, and, but, you know what's interesting is that when we recorded the original video, I think Halloween Kills was either about to come out or was gonna come out that next year,
Yeah, that sounds about right. Because Halloween Ends wasn't until like that was about
2023.
yeah,
Yeah,
that was like 3 years ago when Halloween Ends came out.
yeah, so
I watched Halloween Ends with a big group of friends that I so another little tidbit about Melodite is I worked in a haunted house for about 5 years, and
mhm.
I had a big group of friends, and we during the haunt season we met together at a house and we watched Halloween Ends, and we were kind of walking into that with some low expectations because we just like everyone was tearing it apart on Rotten Tomatoes and was just like, but the very first death of that little kid, I don't think any of my friends were expecting that.
No.
And how gruesome it was so good. Like I just remember like all of us going, "What was that?" Like, "What?" And then like I kind of felt like the whole passing of the torch between Michael and that kid was a little like preachy,
Yeah.
but I see what they were trying to do. But I think it also would have been really fucking stupid if they just kept the kid alive at the end of the movie and then him be the new Michael Myers. You know what I mean? Like I think that would have been really stupid. So I'm actually kind of
Yeah.
glad that they ended up spoiler, they ended up killing the kid.
Yeah.
But I can't really say it's a spoiler because it's been 3 years now, so
Yeah. Who
it's
cares?
who cares?
Whatever.
Yeah, like someone's watching this and just like slam their desk and they're like, God damn
Motherfucker. Like, yeah,
it.
no. So,
No, sorry to burst your bubble. Okay, most favorite. So I'm gonna level with you. Again, I have not seen all of these movies, but I've seen enough of them to have an idea of the lore and the character. Um, I'm gonna go Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
okay. Yeah.
So I'm kind of changing that up from paranormal. I'm switching. I'm first of all, I'm getting rid of the fucking Paranormal Activity franchise. That was my shitty take from that video. I honestly feel
Yeah, I was like skimming through and I'm just like, why is paranormal activity on this video?
exactly, and I'm like that was I feel like the shittiest take that I had out of all the videos that we did was thinking that Paranormal Activity was good. So and this is where I want to take a little bit of time and just say, first of all, I do not like that franchise. I like some scenes and I like some of those movies. Like they really revolutionized that genre of horror movie, like the found footage horror genre. It really revolutionized how it's done. So the first movie, I remember like that literally terrified people. That movie was really intense for the time. So like this was like 2007, okay? So like we didn't have horror movies like this for a long time other than the Blair Witch Project.
Yeah, we had Blair Witch, which was 90, like 99, I think, or like maybe a little earlier than that. And then we just had mostly it was the 2000s was mostly just reboots of franchises, whatever they could make money on, they did, whether it was
It's
big or, notable or
it,
whatever.
that's exactly it. And Paranormal Activity, um the first movie was very revolutionary and it was very unique. And that's why I think I probably like put that on the list because I'm like, oh yeah, like I remember watching the first movie and it actually rattling my cage like a teeny bit, like not
Yeah.
like nothing crazy. Um, but I remember enjoying it.
Hmm.
And so I want to finish up with saying that Paranormal Activity um revolutionized a certain subgenre of horror movies. I'm sorry if you guys hear purring. My cat is trying to get her 10 minutes of fame. Um, so anyways, that's where I'm going to leave that.
Okay.
And we're going to move into the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So I watched the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre
Hmm.
only as of recently, and I mean like 2 years ago. is when I finally actually watched the original movie.
Yeah.
And the last 30 minutes of that movie, I'm sorry, but for 1974, holy fuck, that's intense.
Yeah.
Like the 10-minute long chase scene of her running from Leatherface with like the chainsaw. Holy shit, that's intense, man. And then like never even mind like on how Leatherface kills her friends. Like, don't get me wrong, like, that was gruesome, but that movie was dude, like that movie was gruesome for 1974, and it that movie alone revolutionized horror movies for today. Like, and you know, so I saw the reboot, the 2003 or 2004 reboot of Texas Chainsaw Massacre with
Hmm.
oh, what the hell is his name? The drill instructor from Full Metal
Arlie Ermy.
Jacket.
Arlie Ermy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he played the sheriff in that movie. And you know what? From what I remember about that movie, I remember not really thinking anything significantly of it. It was definitely a little more gory. It was a little more intense than the original because there's new technology, so you're able to get away with a lot more like movie magic and shit like that. Um so it was definitely deserving of an R rating, but a fun fact about the original 74 Texas Chainsaw, they were aiming for PG.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So yeah, that's beyond me on how they were going, oh, you're not showing that much. No, bro, like you're literally showing like some girl being put onto a fucking meat hook. And then I guess and then in the reboot there's like literally a scene where like it's the same thing, but he's chainsawing a guy in half.
Yeah.
Um so the other movie that I saw was Texas Chainsaw, the 3D,
3D.
um, which is the one where that girl finds out that she's a Sawyer.
Go get him, cuz. It's
Oh,
just, oh, that
that
movie's
movie,
terrible.
it's so
Oh,
corny. It is so corny, but I do have a big appreciation for it because that was actually the first ever Texas Chainsaw movie that I watched. So I think like that's why like I just have an appreciation for it. So if you've never seen the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies, and you walk into that one, just anticipate the other ones to be much better.
my word of advice is just watch the original and maybe the second one, 'cause
Y-
most of the other ones are either, like, they're just straight up awful or, like, or they're just like some of them are okay, like, the 2003 one is alright, but,
Yeah.
uh, also don't have any preconceived notions of it being a cohesive timeline because 'cause you're gonna get confused really fast and none of it matters, so just watch the original and play the PS5 game. Because yeah.
Yeah, actually, thank you for actually mentioning that because you're so right. Because yeah, like you don't need to worry about going, oh, like I could just skip like 2 and 3. Yes, yes, you can.
You can.
Don't worry about it.
Don't watch that one with Matthew McConaughey in it, and it's straight awful, and he's really bad in it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be it for this video, unless there's any other anecdotes you wanna chime in before we leave, but
No, sir.
okay. So, I would ask if you have anything going on your YouTube channel, but it's been however long since you've put out a video, so it's
Well, okay, so it's been about 3 months since my last upload. Before that, it was probably a few years.
yeah.
Um, there's a couple of reasons why I stopped uploading. Um, I'm not gonna really get into it because I'm not that type of person. I'm not gonna publicly go in on someone.
Fair enough. Yeah.
So, and at the same time, like at it's that's also like so in the past now that like to bring it back up again, it would be so stupid.
Right.
So, but anyways, will I be uploading anytime soon? I don't know. I don't know. I really
We'll
don't know.
see. Yeah, we'll
We'll
see.
see. We'll see.
Maybe we'll do more video. Maybe if you don't upload on this channel, we can always do more stuff on this one. So, like,
Yeah, it honestly, like, I think I'd be really cool with, like, doing a video with you sometime soon, so
yeah. Well, all right, folks. That is going to be it. I don't know what the next video will be, but we'll get to something at some point or another. So, um, go check out my nightmare video. That's probably out by this point. Um, and also my impressions on Superman and Fantastic Four, because I probably put those videos out too. But yeah, we'll see you for the next one, whatever that may be. So have a good night. Thank you all so much for watching, and take care of yourselves.
beep beep Georgie.